Good evening everyone and welcome to a new adventure with Rail 1. Tonight we're following two associations, Pacific 01202 and GFM Historique, both offering special trains running in Gruyère. We're on the first one. We're currently passing through Prix-Mali, heading towards Ramont and Boule, and we're going to link up with the other part of the team in the Rail 1 coach. Hi everyone, hi Tim, Kilian, Paul and our guest Carla.
Hello!
How are things on your side, Tim?
We're doing very well. We're in bright sunshine, nice weather, a bit cold, but it's all good, perfect.
We're going to give you the Trainspotting challenge. You'll have to find the place where you'll be waiting for us to go by, and in the meantime, we'll be doing an interview with Thomas Frieden. Listen carefully to the clues, it's very important. Tim, in front of you this morning I hid a blue envelope. I'd like you please to take it out.
Indeed, there is an envelope.
Here is the message.
Pour savoir, trouve, deux nombres, avec, deux virgules, lâcher, complique, hélas, ce challenge.
There you go, you now know where you will have to train spot us. Best of luck. At home you can play along with us and try to solve this riddle. We will reconnect in a few minutes. Remember, the answer is right before your eyes. See you shortly.
See you soon. That's definitely a Matisse-style riddle.
Pour savoir, trouve deux nombres avec deux virgules. Lâcher, complique, hélas, ce challenge.
Well, it's certainly not an easy one he's given us.
We've just received the Trainspotting challenge from Matisse and we've only just had time to read it, and I think it's going to be very difficult.
Hi Thomas.
Hi Matisse.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Thomas, just as a reminder, you're a member of the Pacific 01202 Association Committee. Remind us what your association's purpose is.
The main aim is to preserve, maintain and operate 01202 on the Swiss and German railway networks.
Your steam locomotive 01202, we followed it in 2023 when it was heading to Meiningen for its major boiler overhaul. It still has not come back. Is it still in Germany, in Meiningen?
It's still in Germany, yes, that's right. It's been there for 3 years already now. It still has to stay a few more months to finish the work.
What happened for it to take so much longer?
It was supposed to take around 8 months, but they ran into a few problems moving the work forward. And then we also found more damage, another crack, which required additional work. At the workshop, there was a change of generation too, and some know-how was lost.
So when you talk about additional work, that also means additional cost?
It's much more expensive than expected. In the end, with a locomotive of this age, it's normal to find additional damage. That didn't surprise us too much, but we still need to raise the remaining amount, around 70,000 francs, and we're still short.
What total amount does that represent?
800,000.
How do you manage to finance such an amount?
We've already made several donation appeals to our members and also on social media.
And now for the information everyone is waiting for, the enthusiasts or the curious viewers watching us. Do we have a return date for this grand steam lady?
If all goes well, she'll return to Switzerland in October this year. It's not certain yet, but I think it's possible.
And don't forget that you can find all railway events on our website, rail1.ch, under Railway Calendar. And it's very important for us to give visibility to the associations that maintain the country's railway heritage. See you very soon, Thomas.
Thank you very much.
Pour savoir, trouve deux nombres avec deux virgules. Lâcher, complique, hélas, ce challenge.
If either of you, Carla or Paul, have any ideas, do jump in.
My name is Carla. I'm here today as a guest and I study fine arts at school.
Knowing the artist, it might jump out at her, but not at us.
Yeah, exactly.
When Mattis gave me the challenge, I thought, what is this all about now? What kind of adventure is he dragging us into? I've already worked out one thing, which is that
Pour savoir, trouve deux nombres avec deux virgules. Lâcher, complique, hélas, ce challenge.
for a start there are already 2 commas in the text, so maybe it has something to do with that.
I think there's something to do with the commas too. The structure feels a bit strange.
In the text, it talks about 2 numbers, 2 parts. You can see the text is in 2 lines, 2 sections. 2 numbers? How can numbers help us find a location? That's what I'm really wondering.
Let's break this riddle down together, since this challenge only works in French. Tim is right to focus on the 2 commas in the text. We have a text in 2 parts, and we are told about 2 numbers with 2 commas. So logically the answer is right in front of you. The 2 numbers are here with the 2 commas. But which digits make up those 2 numbers? To work that out, you need to look at the number of letters.
Oh, wait, the word lâcher must be what complicates the challenge.
Because that word is just there to throw us off.
That is exactly what I'm starting to think. But why does lâcher complicate it?
The meaning of the words makes me wonder because the word let go is in the middle and I don't really know where to put it or what to do with it.
Shouldn't we try counting the number of letters between the 2 commas? How many letters have you got between the commas?
There are a lot of words, a lot of letters. Count the letters, count the words, try to find similarities. We're wondering whether they could be sequences of digits.
Pour has 4 letters, savoir has 5 letters, and so on, linked to the commas that will give several digits. If we put them together, keeping the text split as it is, we end up with 2 numbers corresponding to the latitude and longitude of our train spotting destination. Let's see whether they can work it out.
Or is it the words?
The words, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 between the comma and the end of the first part. Wait, I'm onto something. Pour, 4 letters. Savoir, 5. No, wait, 6.
To me, it's a postcode. The coordinates.
Ah!
That gives 46, then after that...
Okay, right, I think I've got it. Once we realize that there are GPS coordinates, we think, yes, we have finally found it. So Carla and I start trying to map these numbers and find the place. We're 4 minutes away, but we need to turn around.
We need to turn around?
Yeah, as soon as possible.
First time train spotting for me. I can't wait to see how it goes. I've never done it before.
Still, you can tell the light is in the right direction. Everything is perfect for filming the train. We can see that Matisse really planned this well.
On board the train with Papillon, we are arriving in Boule. It is time to change train. The GFM Historique Association now takes over for this special day. An association whose name, incidentally, comes from one of the many companies that once ran here in the Gruyère region.
The desire to link Gruyère with the rest of Switzerland by rail is nothing new. From the 1850s onwards, the region wanted the main Lausanne to Bern line to pass via Vevey, Château Saint-Denis and Boule before joining Fribourg. But in the end, the route via Oran and Romande was preferred. The line linking Lausanne, Fribourg and Bern opened in 1862, leaving the people of Gruyère and Vevey out of the picture. They had not said their last word though. The town of Boule still decided to connect itself to the main line by building a railway to Romande. The Boule to Romande line was inaugurated on the 29th of June 1868 and was operated by the Compagnie de la Suisse Occidentale. It was only much later that the Compagnie de Chemin de Fer Boule-Romande took over its operation. In the neighbouring district, Château Saint-Denis was still isolated. Unlike the people of Boule, the inhabitants of Châtel chose to connect to the main network via Palaiseau in 1901 with a meter gauge line. Between 1903 and 1904, railway lines sprang up like mushrooms in the region. Still with the meter gauge, the Châtel-Saint-Denis-Boule-Montbovon line came into being. It was run by the Chemin de Fer Électrique de la Gruyère, CEG. That same year, the CEV, Chemin de Fer Électrique Veuvezan, opened the links between Châtel and Saint-Légier, making it possible to reach the town of Vevey. The aim was to connect the latter to the Thun region. Unfortunately, the project had little success in the face of competition from the MOB and its line by Les Avants. It is also interesting to note that Châtel-Saint-Denis station was then shared by 3 companies. This situation did not last long because the Châtel-Palaiseau line was absorbed by the CEG in 1907. 5 years later, the network grew with a branch at Boule to connect to the village of Bro, and above all, the famous Gruyère chocolate factory. It was initially planned to continue towards Fribourg, but the war decided otherwise. With this new link and the freight traffic it brought, the CEG were able to recover and avoid the bankruptcy that was looming. In 1942, the Chemin de Fer Électrique de la Gruyère, the Boule-Romont line, and the Fribourg-Morat-Anna Railway merged to form the Gruyère-Fribourg-Morat GFM, more commonly known as the Chemin de Fer Fribourgeois. It's odd. I have a feeling I know why the abbreviation of Chemin de Fer Fribourgeois was not the one they kept. Anyway. 4 years later, on the 8th of May 1946, the Boule-Romont line was electrified, which marked the end of steam in Gruyère. At the turn of the new millennium, GFM and Fribourg Public Transport were merged to form Transport Public Fribourgeois, TPF. The last step in this story is also Rail 1's first. It was on the 28th of March 2021 that we filmed our very first program on the Boule-Bro-Fabrique line. That line changed gauge from meter gauge to standard gauge and now allows the chocolate factory to be linked to the federal capital. We were also able to follow the construction of the new Boule station, which was completed in 2023.
It's the first time I've been on a historic train, and you really feel the atmosphere with all the different sounds. It's really different from what you get today. I decided to get off at Gruyère to visit La Maison du Gruyère, one of the iconic places here in Gruyère. Hello Fabienne, thank you very much for welcoming me.
My pleasure.
Hello! Welcome to La Maison du Gruyère. Here is your entry ticket. So you're the director of this place. What is La Maison du Gruyère?
La Maison du Gruyère is a place where you can discover all the secrets of Gruyère AOP.
And what does Gruyère AOP mean?
Gruyère is in fact a cheese that was born in Gruyère, in the Gruyère region. Then the production area expanded to the canton of Fribourg and gradually to the other cantons of French-speaking Switzerland mainly. So it is a very clearly defined production area.
We are in the first part of the visit, the interactive exhibition. What is it built around?
It's built around the senses. There is a touch section, a sense section, and an audio section, because it is storytelling. And it is Cerie the cow telling us the story of her drop of milk. So the plants the cow eats are very important. They really give the milk its character, and therefore the Gruyère its character too. We're going to go and see the production. The production section is really the heart of La Maison du Gruyère, the most important place, because this is where the Gruyère wheels are born.
And how many wheels come out each day?
There are 48 wheels produced each day.
Do you know how many liters of milk are needed for a single wheel?
As you can see, it takes 400 liters of milk for one Gruyère wheel weighing 35 kilos.
That's a lot.
It is. And in each vat, there are 4,800 liters of milk.
That makes a lot of cheese.
It certainly does. And since a cow gives roughly 25 liters of milk a day, that also means a lot of milk producers, a lot of cows, and a fine output with very high quality milk at the base of production.
And what can we see here then?
We're seeing the Gruyère being made, so the transformation of milk into Gruyère AOP with the different stages: curd cutting, checking the grain, drying the grain, and molding.
Can you tell us how long it takes to make a single wheel?
It takes at least 2 hours to make it, to turn the milk into Gruyère. Then it needs at least 5 months in the cellar to mature, before you can eat it.
So this isn't where the cheese develops all its character?
The cheese develops all its character from the very start. That means first in the quality of the milk, then through the cheesemaker's expertise during production, and then in the cellar. Yes, there is the maturation. That is work too.
So we're in front of the cellar. What is the maximum capacity here?
Here we can store up to 7,000 wheels, but after 3 months they go to our main affineur, Fromage Gruyère SA, and we keep only part of them. They can stay up to 2 years, 2.5 years. Most stay between 10 and 18 months.
There are several tourist attractions here in Boule. There is la Maison du Gruyère here, the castle too, and the chocolate factory in Bro. Is there a way of linking all these tourist sites?
Well, yes, there is an offer called the Day Pass. It is interesting because it also includes public transport. So you can arrive from Romans or from Fribourg and then take the train and the bus to reach the different places. And it really lets you see these attractions, these 3 places, each with its own special character. Altogether, it feels very Swiss really, between the cheese, the chocolate and the magnificent Gruyère castle.
Thank you very much for having us.
With great pleasure.
See you soon on Rail 1.
Gladly.
While Carla was visiting Gruyère with part of the team, another group had to deal with a small unexpected issue.
While I'm at la Maison du Gruyère, I hear the team has a bit of a problem with the drone. This could get tricky.
We got the drone stuck in the trees. Well, it happens, these are filming mishaps. And that is also why this format exists, so we can share them with you. But it is really very high up. We need to split into 2. One group will handle the GFM Historique Trainspotting and the other will try to get the drone down. Tim, can you hear me?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Where are you?
We're still under the fir tree. We're just quickly checking the coordinates, but we're on our way.
The drone was finally brought down with the great help of the people of Alberve, whom we'd like to thank. They were incredibly kind in this unexpected situation.
We're heading towards the church.
Let's meet at the church.
They're at the church with the remote control.
Ah, there they are. They're there on your left. There. Hello. You have to improvise. That's Rail 1 filming. We very rarely stick to the schedule we planned beforehand. In the end, we'll be train spotting as 4, and we need to find an S-curve spot to get our different shots, different angles, so all 4 of us can get different shots. Our aim was to spot the GFM Historique train on its return before Villars-Saint-Mont, because we think the scenery is better there, with more open fields. Then suddenly I spot a road behind a sort of small hill, and I tell Killian to turn quickly. Everything happens in a bit of a rush.
Are you sure that was a road? Wasn't it just a marker?
Yes, it's there. Stop, brake. See, then we go up there, and that way we can catch it, yeah?
Where do I park the car? That's my issue.
Is this place really worth it? I turn around and everyone else turns around too.
We find this S-curve spot. With the drone issue, we're a bit tight for time. The train will be coming soon.
What if we set up over there, look? Papillon, you get it from behind with the drone. Follow it, and we will stand here. Shall we try it?
This time the train is much shorter, much smaller. The colors are different too. I frame it differently. This time I can get the whole thing in shot.
Once the train has passed, it's back to boule while passengers change from meter gauge to standard gauge. Tim will then speak with Alain Castella, president of GFM Historique.
Hello Alan, how are you?
Not bad at all. When you're around railways, when you're on our old trains, you're completely happy.
It has been more than 2 years since we last saw each other. We were pleased to share this train journey with you today. Can you tell us all the latest news from the association?
The news from the association, in terms of rolling stock, is the vehicle behind me. 2,000 hours of work were needed to restore this driving trailer, which will form, or already forms, together with Motor Coach 131, the recreation of the so-called Arrow set, or the so-called 130 set from the 1943 period.
Where did the idea for this collaboration with Pacific 01202 come from today?
It is fairly recent, and it came from their request to organize a complement to their own trip from Lys to here, to Boule, by arranging transport to Montbovant and letting passengers enjoy the depot with a guided tour and return to Lys.
What are the association's next goals?
To showcase more than 1,500 items that we have in store, with a temporary exhibition each time lasting 2, 3 or 4 years on a theme. This one will be stations, with the presentation of the chalet-style stations typical of the Gruyère network, along with all the different objects and machines used in stations, the machines used to punch tickets and so on.
And in terms of vehicles, what's planned?
Our flagship restoration will begin in 2027. It's the 1903 motor coach number 111, the oldest motor coach in the canton of Fribourg. We're currently fundraising, and it's going quite well. In principle, the work will start at the end of next year.
Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you for this wonderful day, and see you soon on Rail 1.
With pleasure. You're very welcome.
This locomotive hauling the train is a legendary one. It is the first of the Re 44 series. You do not often see them, there are not many left, so I feel very lucky to see it. And I think Matthias will be able to explain in more detail what it is all about.
The RE44 locomotives are among the most iconic electric locomotives in the Swiss Federal Railways, because on their own they illustrate several decades of technological development. As usual, let us take time to break down the name RE44. R for a locomotive able to run at high speed through curbs, and E for electric. The fraction 4-4 means that all 4 axles are powered. In international classification, this is known as a locomotive boo-boo, worth not forgetting. In other words, these RE44 are powerful machines designed to be versatile. There were 4 versions between the 1940s and the 1980s, but why so many in such a short time? Because needs evolved, more speed, more power, more lines, and advancing technologies. Each generation responds to a specific context. The first generation appeared at the end of the Second World War. These were relatively light locomotives, only 57 tons, ideal for winding lines and regional trains. This is the model that accompanies us today on the Pacific 01202 Association's train. Then came the second versions in the 1960s. Here everything moved up a gear. They were more powerful, able to haul both passenger trains and freight trains. And just imagine, 80 tons for a top speed of 140 kilometers an hour. And above all, 6,320 horsepower available. This is the most widespread series and probably the best known, also called the RE420. If we have to mention iconic locomotives, there's the Swiss Express with his orange and cream livery. Recognizable from far away, these locomotives can still be seen hauling freight trains today, but they are sadly nearing the end of their service life and will stop being used in a few years. See that? Did you notice? Oh yes, of course, it jumps out. See? The Roman numerals. But why did they use these? Because they do not just number things, they really distinguish them. It can be for a new generation, because of a different design, or for other technical features compared with earlier versions. Back to our locomotives. The RE443 are a small specific series. They were designed in the early 1970s for more demanding lines with steep gradients, so more power was needed. One of the country's most iconic steep routes is the Gotthard line, where these locomotives were regularly used in double traction, and finally the fourth version. These introduced more modern technologies, particularly in control electronics, and paved the way for contemporary locomotives. To sum up, the RE44s are not just a locomotive series. Across the 4 generations presented in this feature, they illustrate 4 decades of Swiss railway development between operating needs, adaptation, and even more innovation. Last train spotting of the day. The day just flew by, and we're heading to an iconic location in the canton of Fribourg, the Grand Fay Viaduct.
We get there at 25, it passes at 58, that gives us loads of time. The sun is starting to set, the last rays are beginning to fade. We hope we will have enough light to spot this train on the bridge. Fingers crossed.
You really feel its scale with the little evening lights. It's truly beautiful. What I remember from today is the visit to la Maison du Gruyère. They welcomed us warmly. We had a great visit, and I'd like to thank them warmly for that.
The crash of my drone, which is not exactly common, but otherwise it is really the beautiful shots of the GFM train in the Fribourg Prealps.
A day of adventure that will stay in our memories for a long time because of the emotions we felt and the beautiful landscapes crossed over hundreds of kilometers. A huge thank you to all the partners La Maison du Gruyère, Pacific 01202 and GFM Historique for this wonderful collaboration. And thank you to you for following us in this program. And don't forget, this is Rail 1. Ciao.